Hi guys, good morning. This is Rajesh Kannan, working as assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology. In this video, I am going to explain how the cookies and sessions concept are implemented in Django environment. As you know, the cookies and sessions are more important for an web applications. With the help of cookies or sessions only, we can track the state of a website. I will explain. Actually, the websites are working with the help of HTTP or HTTPS protocols. Both HTTP as well as HTTPS protocols are stateless protocols. That means we cannot retrieve actually what is the state of our website, whether it is in querying environment or it is retrieving the content or sending the information back to the application. Such informations cannot be retrieved with the help of protocols, that is HTTP protocols. So, only the cookie concept is introduced in the earlier. Cookie actually it is a small piece of information which is maintained in the client environment itself. That means, the cookies are maintained in the browser itself, and the size of the cookies will be in kbase 1 or 2 kbase only, and the informations what we can maintain in a cookie is also limited. Django environment, cookies is a special attribute which is used to access the values, with the help of request.cookies. It is a dictionary content. If we want to access the cookies, means we can use the request.cookies function to retrieve a specific cookie content, or else we can use the get keyword to retrieve the specific values. Request.cookies, the corresponding cookie name means it will retrieve all the values. If we want to retrieve a specific parameter value, means we have to provide the key and the corresponding default value will be retrieved. If we want to use the response object to create or retrieve the cookies content, or else delete a cookie, means set underscore cookie which is used to create the cookies, delete underscore cookie, it is a method which is used to delete the cookies. We will discuss one by one. Actually, it is a demo file views.py. Here we have two views, one is chk, that is create a cookie, and another one is delete a cookie. In the create cookies, we are just going to create or imitate a hit counter, that is the number of times a particular website is visited. Request.cookies.get, request.cookies, it is a method to retrieve the content from the cookies. Get method, we are retrieving the counter values only. Here the example says that if the counter value is exist in the cookie, means it will return the actual value, or else it will return the default value 0. So, whenever a particular website is opened in the first time, means the visitor count will be 0. So, it will be created using the default value. Once the content is available, the count value is initialized, then after that it has to be incremented by 1. So, we are increasing the count by 1, then the corresponding content has to be updated in the cookies, which is done here. Response.set underscore cookie is count the corresponding parameter value, the corresponding value. Okay. Before that, the content will may be rendered to the applications. Actually, it is more or less similar to the cache content, but in the cache we retrieve the content, store it in the cache, then we will render to the application, but in the cookies or session it is no need for updating the cookies or session, then only we have to render. We can render first, then we can update the cookies also, it is possible. If we want to delete a particular cookie parameter means, then delete underscore cookie, the particular parameter we have to provide, and the updated successfully, which will be returned back to the response object. An example, here it is the HTML file, the user visits, it is the visitors count, the count value will be retrieved from the cookies. In the URLs we provide the corresponding path. Whenever the chk, that is create cookies URL is initiated, the corresponding file will be called and it will be getting executed, or else the delete cookies is called means the corresponding view dot dck will be called. The problem with the cookie is it is based on the browser settings. If the browsers are doesn't accept the cookies means we cannot maintain the values, but actually the content what are all the users are viewing or following, the navigation details are somewhat important in the current scenario. For that the next possibility is the session. In the session or the mechanisms used by the Django are in the most of the internet environment for keeping track of the state between the site and a particular browser. Actually the sessions are the mechanisms used by Django, or else in general any of the internet environment which is for keeping track of the state between the site and a particular browser. And the session is a semi permanent and two-way communication between the server and the browser. Actually the session values are maintained or keeping tracked by the server only, not by the client environment. The syntax are more or less similar like the cookies. Here also we are going to use get and set values. If we want to get a session value means request dot session dot get. Previously we used request dot cookies dot get the corresponding parameter value. Same mechanism is followed in the session also. To set a session value, request dot session the corresponding parameter value and the actual value what we wish to set. If we want to delete a particular session content means del request dot session and the corresponding session value. It will simply remove the corresponding session content from the server side. We will discuss it with an example. Visitors counter example is used here. For the creating a session, for deleting a session, we have the separate views. Creating the session, request dot session dot get the counter, the same concept. If the count parameter is exist in the server session, it will return the corresponding value, or else the 0, the default value will be returned. Once the visitors count is received and locally stored in the count attribute, it will be incremented by 1 and updated in the session. Response is equal to render request dot count is equal to tc, it is returned, and we will return the response. In the delete session means del request dot session the corresponding content. Actually after deleting the session, it won't return any data to the response object. So, we will create manually the HTTP response as deleting the session key what we provided. An example, The hit counter, the same, the path is provided for creating the cookies and the deleting the cookies. If the CHK URL is identified, means in the views CHK is called, and when the delete cookies DCK is available in the URL, means the DCK in the views DCK view will be called and executed. Okay. So far we had discussed how the cookies and sessions are getting executed. Let us discuss the same with a live example. Login and log out with a session. Whenever we are introducing, whenever we are getting into a website, means once we log in, then the session starts. Once we log out, the session is closed. In the forms.py, we are creating a model which to store the username, email, password and the confirm password. In the views.py, we have one method, sign up, for the registering purpose. Whenever a new user is available and his method is post, means then the new user form is available. From that we are going to retrieve the data. If the form content is valid, means then we are save the content and the login page is loaded. Suppose the form is not valid, means when the form will be invalid, means some of the fields may not be filled by the user, or some of the field may have insufficient informations, or some other wrong data may be provided, like whenever the phone number is required, means they provide some alphabet, means it is a wrong information. Then we will return again the signup.html file. The second view is login page. Here we will retrieve the content from the login form. We are retrieving the username as well as the password. Once the username and the password is authenticated, if the user is valid, means then we let them to enter into the page, that is the home page is loaded and they will started the processing, and the session is created with the name of the user. If the particular user is not authenticated, means then we will redirect or reload the login page again. The home page, here we just provide the home.html file, and the username is retrieved from the session username, and the username is displayed here in the home.html. The reason is we are just demonstrating the content. In the login page, we evaluate whether the user is valid user. If so, we will redirect them to the home page. Here the username is not forwarded in the URL, but in the home page we retrieve the content from the session and showing in the home page. And when we are clicking out the logout, means the session has to be deleted. So, request.session username and logout request is processed. So, actually the session with the username is removed with the help of this del command. The templates what we used are, for the sign up we use the sign in forms, CSRF token which is enabled for cross site integration error, and the form is created as P. Using that P we are going to evaluate everything, and apart from that we are going to use one button, submit button. The login.html, which contains two values, one as input type for the username, another one as the input type for the password. In this text content, the user has to be provide the corresponding username as well as the password, and when they submitting it, then the corresponding action will be carried out. The next one is home page. Here we provide two h1 and h2 tags. First one is the heading, the home page, second one is welcome, followed by it shows the username, and it has a option hyperlink for logging out. If the user clicking on the logout hyperlink means the corresponding logout view is called and executed. The corresponding URLs are represented. The path for home means it will load the home page, and login means login page, logout means logout page, or else default means the sign up page. Initially it will be redirected to the sign up page. Guys, hope you understand the concept of session and cookies, how it is implemented in the Django environment with a real time example. Thank you.